Welcome back to my wonderful journey where we will be deciding once and for all is Alias really the best show of all time, or is it, well, shall we say, we'll be doing this by me rewatching the show and taking rigorous notes. On top of that, I'll be analyzing the deep themes of each episode. Themes like, how much will they cram into this week's episode? Do you think Jennifer Garner has a PhD in running down hallways at this point? Freaking, on a scale of 1 to 10, how very good is her Halloween costume in this one? And why the heck did we not get to see Vaughn's Halloween costume? Let's jump into it. Between episodes, Sydney was apparently beat up and captured and dragged to get thrown into a fire. Talking about a hot situation. Oh boys. She's taken by the very big man that she had to fight last episode. Right before he throws her into the fire, she sneaks a pin out of his pocket and stabs him in the neck with it. And man, I can't believe he fell for the old stab in the neck. Man. Classic Sydney Bristow. Sydney, of course, kicks his butt, adding a running total of butts kicked by Sydney Bristow to 17. But not only is this a butt kicked, this is a butt re-kicked because she kicked his butt last time. Sydney's so much better than this sack of dumb boy. She runs in a hallway, and of course, she gets chased. I can't believe it, boys. She then jumps on the water slide to get away. She calls Dixon and fills him in on all the stuff that she just learned about Mr. World Peace having a bomb inside of him. She lets him know that it's apparently some kind of pacemaker procedure. I don't understand why this guy would pass out, get sent to the fake hospital, which is not a hospital at all, but this facility, come back and just get told that he has a pacemaker and believe all of this stuff without any having prior heart issues or anything like this. However, this is what happened. She then steals an ambulance and she tells Dixon that he needs to grab the guy. Mr. World Peace is grabbed by Dixon, and Dixon meets him in the ambulance. She starts doing her best Fast and Furious stuff because they're getting chased. And on top of that, we learn that Dixon's field medic might essentially be the same thing as a heart surgeon. I don't know if this is a giant slap to the face to all heart surgeons, or if Dixon's field medic was just a little extensive. Now, he takes out the pacemaker bomb while Sydney's driving away from people shooting at them. She does a cool Fast and Furious stunt, and Dixon's getting thrown all around the back. Maybe they should communicate at all, but that would be my only suggestion for any of the spy stuff that they've done this far. This giant race against the clock, Dixon, just in the nick of time, gets the pacemaker bomb out and flicks it at the car behind them, being the people chasing them. They blow up the bomb, which in turn blows themselves up. I can't believe those ninnies. However, the bomb's a little bit disappointing, but maybe it's just the fact that I thought 400 pounds of TNT was going to be a bit bigger of an explosion blast. When Sydney gets back, she goes and she tells Vaughn a little bit about the mission, and Vaughn, of course, gives her dad's file. I think he's trying to score brownie points with Sydney Bristow. I wonder why that would be. And she takes the file and then she goes to a public library at her freaking school to read this file. Again, I don't like to be too critical of everybody's favorite human being on the planet. More than everybody loves freaking Michelle Obama. They love Sydney Bristow. But maybe you shouldn't read your double agent dad, who is a spy for the CIA and a spy for the bad guys, but a double agent again, at a public library. That just seems a little bit like a no-no. However, Sydney does do that, and then she meets with a friend and they plan their Halloween party. And oh boy, I don't know if you guys are excited as I am to see what Sydney dressed up as, but dang, I super couldn't wait. They run into Rocket and they tell him, hey, you're invited to the Halloween party, bud. We get back to SC6 and Sydney learns that she has a new mission to go get a guy who invented a magic drug that is going to make you immune to every single bioweapon. This feels a little bit ridiculous, but this is exactly what is happening. Sydney goes and she tells Vaughn about this, and Vaughn gives her a counter mission. And this is the counter mission. I need everybody to listen closely because it's a little bit buck wild. And of course, yet again, I don't mean to be the bearer of all bad news, but there's a few weird holes in this episode that I would really like to try to punch up to make this episode just a little bit better than it already is, being the fact that Alias is probably the best show ever written, and I don't understand why anybody would ever follow any story ever. The counter-up is that she's going to break into this place, put a thing on this dude's computer for the bad guy, for SD6, and she's going to take him out and going to give him to SD6. He's already agreed to help them. The counter-op is she's going to do everything normal, except for she's going to add a different computer code to the thing, allowing a wormhole, which we'll learn a little bit more about later, that the CIA will be able to use to spy on SD6 computer traffic. She's going to take the man and change the meeting spot that she's supposed to have with Dixon, which is all prearranged, changing the plan. She's going to throw this dude in a van while a CIA agent is going to go undercover as this dude because they look fairly similar and they don't know exactly what he looks like. This is an okay plan, I suppose. However, if the CIA is already going to be in the building with their van and everything there, why risk Sydney having to make a switch and lying to her partner and changing the plan on the fly when they could have just had the dude in the office waiting for her? Sydney, of course, does the plan and everything goes off without a hitch, and Sydney gets the guy who's undercover and takes him back to SD6. After everything's done, this is when Sydney learns that Vaughn was the person with the very good idea that the code that they're giving SD6 is going to allow them having backdoor access to all of the computers. And man, she thinks Vaughn having this good of an idea is one of the hottest things she's ever seen. And the look she gives him, oh boy, oh how. The evil-looking Weaselman suspects something and thinks that maybe Sydney has some foul play going on and loses a little bit of trust with her. I'm very scared what's going to happen. We get to see the Halloween party, and oh boy, oh how, does Sydney look freaking so stunning in her Cinderella costume. Hottie. Dixon shows up to the Halloween party and lets her know that Sloane's having some thoughts about this guy being a plant and having a little bit of doubts about Sydney's devotion. Sydney learns about this and she learns that they need to get the information to SD6 super fast. So as soon as the party's over, she goes back to the actual guy who Vaughn couldn't get to talk earlier, and she tells him, hey, I'm Sydney, and she gives him the whole spiel of what happened up to this point. We really need you to talk because my fiance died. He of course helps her, and then she tells her dad. Her dad goes in and tells the evil Weasel man that I can get this dude to talk. He gets her to talk, but they're actually friends, so he gives him the information, breaks his arm, and the dude yells out the information, making the evil-looking Weasel man think that he got him to talk. I love to see Sydney and her dad work together. Sydney and Dixon get sent to go get the actual vaccination to make everybody adhere to every single bioweapon ever, of course, the magic drug. I would also like to do a quick apology to every single homeschool mom out there for how pro-vaccination this video has seemed to be thus far. I understand this might be a little bit of a hot button topic for you guys, however, I just want you to know this is all fictional, so vaccines are okay. When she goes to get the counter out for this one, which this one also is a little bit buck wild, but not as buck wild, so we're not going to jump super deep into all of the holes with this one. She learns that her dad might be a triple agent, or at the very least, selling secrets. I can't believe if we're supposed to trust that guy or not. They break into the building, and they get all of the stuff set up, and Dixon sets up explosives, and Sydney goes and she steals the actual inhaler vaccination. She meets up with the CIA group in there, and they trade out the real ones with the fake ones, so now they're not giving SD6 being immune to all of the bioweapons. Sydney then goes and disarms the bomb so that when Dixon tries to blow up the place, he won't blow up the CIA operatives who are in there grabbing a little bit more information that Sydney and Dixon were not sent in there for. She disarms the bomb and then leaves. However, Dixon planted a second bomb and does blow up all of the CIA agents. Oh no, I can't believe what's going to happen. And Sydney freaking cries over this. It's so sad. To make matters even worse, this episode, of course, Rocket Raccoon was chasing down all of the stuff about Danny, and he actually is chasing down that Kate Jones person who we know to be Sydney's alias for SD6. He makes up a meeting with a girl who he learns that is Kate Jones, which is confusing to us because I thought Kate Jones was Sydney. He talks to her a little bit and she feeds him some bullcrap lie. While he's talking to her, he confronts her about the fact that he found her social security number and looked everything up. She's a dead person. So he says, so tell me and then he does a naughty word. Are you? And this girl leaves. Who the heck is this, and what was her whole deal? Is Sydney gonna get fired because she got all of those CIA people killed? What's gonna freaking happen? You guys will have to tune in next time.